So David, if you can start by telling me about your background and involvement in property and indeed investment.
Okay, well, I've got a very wide commercial background in industrial companies and marketing companies and so on, and in accountancy and finance. But I haven't been involved in a property company per se, but I have been involved in property investment really for a large part of my life, both in commercial investment and residential. But that's been more of a personal thing on a personal investment basis, but not actually involved in a property company.
Well, you joined Cogress around 6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Yeah, why did you take this decision?
Well, initially I was introduced to Ty Lawley, the chief exec, and he brought me to see the setup here, and I was very, very impressed with all manner of aspects. They're a very professional group of people, and they, as we'll discuss in a minute, I think, they have a very, very enticing product. So, you know, a mixture of the product offering, the people, and the standards that they comply with. So I was very impressed with the organisation, and initially I got involved as an investor. I invested in a couple of their properties, and you know, hopefully that was going to go really well. And then they asked me to get involved.
So why do you think investors should consider the UK property market then?
Well, I think the UK property market is fundamentally strong, and particularly in London. London is London. It's a unique city. It may have a little bit of a flattening out in the short term because with our uncertainties, but in the longer term, it has unique qualities. I think values will be maintained. And I think on top of that, we have a lower pound at the moment. Now, a lower pound should make investment in the UK much more attractive for overseas people right across the world. At the moment, it's like a 10% discount almost. Now, again, who knows where the pound will go, but my guess is it's not going to go up greatly. So we're going to have a very competitive situation with regard to currency. And thirdly, interest rates, which are very low, are going to get even lower. So the sorts of returns that Cogress offers should be particularly attractive. So I think, you know, given time and allowing the market to settle a little bit, I think Cogress and investment in the UK property market will continue to be you know, very positive.
And in terms of transparency, is it still solid footing here?
In the UK?
Yeah.
Well, I think so. I mean, you know, Brexit only happened 9-10 days ago. There's a lot. We haven't got a settled government at the moment. We haven't got a settled opposition. The whole country is in a bit of state of flux. But that will settle down. You know, I think we're going to need another month or two to get a new prime minister, and then we'll go from there. But fundamentally, although there will be change, I think for a whole variety of economic and social reasons, the UK will continue to be an attractive place to invest.
Well, you did mention this 10% discount, of course, but I think a lot of investors perhaps are adopting a wait-and-see attitude with this level of uncertainty. So do you think that the investors will really take up this opportunity, or might it be a missed one?
Well, I think there's a difference between UK investors and overseas investors. I think in the short term, and over the next 2 or 3 months, you're bound to see a quietening. People are going to wait and see. I think they will come back in after a little while, but I think they're bound to want to wait and see what happens. And there may be a little bit of marking down of values as a result. For overseas investors, I think it's very different because there's an opportunity now with this fall in the pound for them to take a quick advantage. And there'll be a lot of interesting scenarios and situations around for them so to do. So I think you need to perhaps distinguish between those two parts of the market.
So investors could almost adopt a Warren Buffett sort of mentality to the UK property market, sort of buy low, sell high, that sort of thing. So it's a good opportunity at the moment in the market.
I think so. And you know, if that opportunity is there in general, I think for Cogress in particular, who provide this entree into the residential market and enabling investors to choose their particular investment. You're not investing in the company, you're being introduced to a particular development and a particular developer, and the investor can look at the thing in great detail. Everybody can see the development, touch and feel it, speak to the developer, and get a real feel of the particular development that he or she wishes to invest in. And again, it can choose between different parts of the market. We have some investments that are quite high level, quite high priced in the more luxury end, and we have some much lower priced things. So depending on your philosophy as a private investor, you can choose which bit of the market you want to get into.
So finally, obviously buy-to-let isn't as an attractive an investment anymore following the changes. So could this be a new way for people to invest sort of their pensions and that kind of thing?
Yes. At this moment in time, actually, we for various technical reasons, we can't take pension investments, although hopefully that will change and we'll be able to do it. So at the moment, the individual will have to invest as an investor in his or her own name. But no, I think it's a very flexible way of choosing your investment in a particular part of the market that suits you. And it actually suits people who've got some capital, because clearly you need capital to do this, but haven't got the time necessarily or the expertise want to do it all themselves. And Cogress provides tremendous range of expertise in all aspects of property to focus on the right sort of investments and enable people to make the right choices.
And this sort of investment model, what sort of risk are we looking at? Is it high or is it sort of more of a safe haven?
But the way things are structured, it's a very should be a very acceptable level of risk. I wouldn't call it a high risk, but of course it's an equity investment at the moment, and therefore there's an element of risk that's bound to be, but the returns reflect that, because you're looking at potentially over 20% per annum returns, which are extremely attractive. But I think the risk is minimised by first-class people doing things carefully, conservatively, knowing what they're doing.
And as a nation, we love to invest in bricks and mortar. So,
we do.
David, thank you so much.
That's a pleasure. Thank you.